What a performance by Daniel Jones. Also, what a performance by the Indianapolis Colts defense. And Zaire Franklin, who is a captain and a part of that defense, is kind enough to join us right now. Zaire, first and foremost, congratulations on a Week 1 victory. We appreciate the time. How you been, my man?
I'm good, Zach. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, I appreciate you coming back on. So how about that defensive performance yesterday? It was a shutout for pretty much the majority of the game until late. But, man, you guys were flying all over the place yesterday making plays.
Yes, sir, no question. It was just good to put a good performance on tape. Obviously, big plays, big games with my boys, Cam Bynum and Kenny Moore. Obviously, they were the highlights of the day, but really it was just fun. We knew what we had in the building. Going through training camp and at practice, we knew we had the capabilities of playing that type of game now. Just about building on it, cleaning some stuff up. Obviously, some things that we want to work on and improve on. We got to get that shutout, man. We got to get that shutout. We got to work harder to finish that out. Like I said, we're going to grow and improve on, but it was definitely good to put that type of performance on tape early.
Yeah, no, it was a really dominant effort. Now, I got to have you break something down for me. You talked about Cam Bynum being the star of the show. He was great in the game. He had the interception. What was your thoughts and what was your read and your evaluation on that celebration in the end zone? Because I've never seen that before. It was like, I called it the reverse worm. That's what it kind of looked like to me.
Listen, it's so funny. I got on that with Cam today because, we were leading up to game week and he hadn't coordinated a group celebration yet. And he was just so quiet and, reserved about it. I felt like I was picking on him at a certain point. I was like, I thought to myself, Friday, man, maybe Cam don't want to do the celebrations. All for this dude that had this crazy celebration in the tuck for himself when he gets the interception. But that's who Cam is, man. He loves the game. He loves having fun. He's all about great energy. I mean, he just brings such a positive attitude to the building every day. And it's infectious, bro. You got people when you work with every day who just by their positive energy and their good energy, it makes everybody around him feel happy. So definitely glad he's on our team. Obviously, he's a playmaker. He had one, could have had two. Cam had a hell of a game yesterday.
Well, he debuted that celebration. If he now wants to incorporate it with the rest of the defense, do you think you could do that celebration, Zaire Franklin?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that celebration is necessarily for me. But me and Cam got something cooked up, though. We actually were supposed to hit one, but we got to save it for this week against Denver.
How about Latu's interception? We all know the athletic beast he could be, but that was really something yesterday.
Yeah, man, that was special. Young too, man. He had been working on those drops all training camp and has been real close to making that play in practice. And, lo and behold, he made the play in the game, man. Super excited to see where his ceiling will really be in this new defense, man. I think he's truly not even began to unlock his potential. I think he's going to truly be the X factor of our whole defense.
What did you think going into this one? Because it was a dominant blowout performance. We know the Dolphins have talent with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Tua Tagovailoa. They couldn't get anything going yesterday. Was how you guys beat them at all surprising to you?
I think, personally, as a defense, I feel like we understood what we were capable of. Obviously, going against an explosive adversary like, with Tyreek in Miami, you got to know where 10 is at all times, right? Knowing that he could break the game and that no lead is really too safe, knowing that he's capable of scoring literally from any part of the field. But, we went into the game knowing that if we took away 10, 17, and 28, that we would have a good chance of winning the game. And, thankfully we were able to put out a performance that allowed us to do so.
I know he's the quarterback, so obviously it's always a major point of emphasis. But how much of a point of emphasis was the quarterback in the game plan? Because you mentioned more of the skill position players rather than the quarterback there in Tua Tagovailoa.
Honestly, and, respect to Tua, but, really just from my standpoint, it's just a lot of the ball handling stuff. I know they do a lot of jet motions, a lot of pre-snap movement, and then he does a bunch of twirls and stuff with the ball. So, but we know he liked to be on time. I saw X, talk about that, in his post-game interview, just, get him off that first read, making him hitch, making him go through those progressions, and giving a rush just an extra tick to get back and affect his passing game. So, we know what Tua is capable of when given time. But, I think we had a good plan. Lou put us in a great situation. and we was able to, stop all his progress.
I'm glad you bring up Lou Anarumo. I thought he was scapegoated with the Bengals, and I don't think that's something that's getting enough national praise today, is him leading that defense now, being the defensive coordinator. What have been your early impressions? Because so far you guys are 1 for 1 with the way that defense played yesterday.
Well, obviously, Lou's been a great addition to the room, to the building. He just brings such a great mentality, his different schemes, and just putting us in position to make plays, which is all a player really wants. But I'll tell you, though, coming into this game and coming into the season, I just feel like our entire organization just feels like they have so much to prove. And I think it starts at the top with Carly, to Shane, to Lou, to myself, to Defoe, to everybody. So I think just some of that hunger and some of that frustration about, what people assumed we were going to be and people assumed we were got taken out a little bit on Miami. But while it was a great win, we got to keep building on that this week at home versus Denver.
And I know you guys are playing for Jim Irsay this year, who unfortunately passed away. Just how much motivation is that, in trying to honor his legacy and just find a way to put out a really good quality product this year?
I mean, it was a motivation. Win for Jim. My personal relationship with Mr. Irsay aside, he's an outstanding man in the community of Indiana, not just Indianapolis. And then just for me, having all those Blue Jackets, our entire ring of honor was there, from Peyton to Dwight to Marvin, Edge, all those guys just being there, Dallas Clark, the names just go on and on. You always want to play great in front of your legends. That's something that I always take personal. Whenever it's an opportunity to put on a good product amongst, such an esteemed alumni, you want to do so. And obviously, everything we're doing this year is for Jim. So,
Zaire Franklin, you talked about everyone has so much to prove. Last year, you really became a household name, making a Pro Bowl, leading the league in tackles. What else is there for you to prove now after what you just had last year, which was a very successful season for you individually?
Man, I'll tell you this. I tell my coaches, I tell my teammates, I tell everybody, all I care about is winning. I've achieved a lot in this league. I've overcome so many things, from special teams to being a starter to the Pro Bowl. At this point, I just want to play meaningful football when the time matters, and I want to do so on the top defense. So everything that I'm doing, everything I'm focused on is helping to lead this unit, be elite every Sunday, and I do that by holding myself to the highest standards possible, and holding my teammates to the highest standards. So I just want to be on a great defense and leading the charge to a playoff team.
Danny Dimes, is he back? That was some performance yesterday.
Indiana Jones. Yeah, he definitely did his thing. Proud of Danny. Like I said, I know we all got stuff to prove. Obviously, Danny's tired of being a butt of everybody's joke. But, all that stuff doesn't end with just one performance. So we got to buckle down, get back in that film room, and be ready to play a great Denver team on Sunday.
Did that surprise you what he was able to do yesterday?
No, not at all. Danny's just been efficient. I mean, this is who he's been when we're competing against each other. It was actually good to kind of see it on film on both sides, because sometimes the defense will feel very heavy-handed, and other times it's like we can't stop the offense. So it's always great, when you're able to take that out on another team. So definitely not surprised of who he is. I've played against him. I've competed against him. I know what he's capable of doing. But like I said, we definitely got to continue to build on and get this next win on Sunday.
Yeah, what's your message, just wondering, to Anthony Richardson? Because that's got to be a tough spot. You go from being the guy to now you're the backup, you just being someone that's a leader on this team. What's the message to Anthony on his role, leading into the future?
Well, I think Shane did a great job of first of all, Anthony knows I love him. I'm supporting him regardless, right, wrong, or indifferent. But I think Shane did a great job of, this season, just framing our team in a mindset of being process-oriented, So it really doesn't matter the results, win the competition, lose the competition, win a game, lose a game. I think the goal for our entire team, every man in that building, is just try to be the best version of yourself every day and just continue to grow and improve. Obviously, right now, while he's not in that spotlight, this is his chance to do the work, do the dirty work that's going to make dividends when he gets the opportunity, because the opportunity is going to come.
You guys really played with an intense amount of passion yesterday. It looked like you guys are trying to prove a point. I know we've talked a lot about some of the motivational factors for this year, but not a lot of people, Zaire Franklin, were talking about the Colts before the season started in a positive way. Did you guys feel disrespected this offseason leading into game one?
Man, I'm going to be honest. I don't really think I cared that much. I don't think we really did. I mean, every year it's the preseason All-Stars and the off-season Olympics. So, that's a part of, the game. That's a part of the narrative. Again, they don't give out any trophies for a week one performance. So we're not going to, lean on it too much. But I think that's why we play the games. It's not about what is supposed to happen. It's about, who shows up and who's the better team every Sunday. So we're just going to keep focusing on that and keep trying to be the best version of ourselves.
Well, you keep on talking about next week. Let's get to next week. You guys do have a matchup against the Denver Broncos. I know you guys did play them last year at the end of the season or towards the end of the season. Bo Nix is a very good young quarterback. Just give me the early read on the Broncos.
I mean, I think obviously Bo Nix is a talented young player in this league. Is capable of making plays with his arms, with his legs. Sean Payton is, in my opinion, one of the best play callers in the league. So he's going to put them in an opportunity to win. Cortland Sutton obviously got a lot of respect for his game as well, but we all know it all starts with their defense with Benito and Surtain. So, I think, defensively, I think our mindset is just trying to be the best defense on the field and, making sure we set that tone, at home and get a quality win against a good team.
All right, I'll end you on this. I got to have a little fun with you on the way out. Zaire Franklin, who did play his ball at Syracuse. I'm a Fran
Indeed.
Brown guy. You know me. I know Fran
For sure.
from Temple. When you're watching after a victory, him making the kids run some sprints afterwards, it took me back to my high school days. I wasn't expecting to see that, but how'd you process that, Zaire?
Hey, look, man. Look, I love Fran. I had a chance to spend some time with him and the team before they played Tennessee week one. And look, he's got them boys humming. I mean, they're believing. I think he knows them enough to know how to rally around them. And listen, the standard is the standard, I guess. If you don't play up to the standard, then that's a repercussion. So, we'll see how they perform this next week. But he said, I saw the postgame interview. He said they wasn't running into the ball, breaking the huddle. So if they didn't want to run during the game, they're going to run afterwards. To that, I just got to tip my hat.
Let's be real. If that was me, I would not be happy with it. I want to run the dinosaur barbecue or something after that game. I would not be happy if you're making me run.
After overtime, like extra game, that's tough. But again, look, I ain't out there. I ain't in that locker room, so that's on them.
Well, hey, heck of a performance yesterday by your defense, by the entirety of the team. Good luck the rest of the way and have good health this season, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.